The MMA India Show.
We are live on the MMA India show, and I'm your host Parvin Dabas, and this is Avi Mittal. Welcome, Avi, back on the show, the chairman of the All India Mixed Martial Arts Association. And first of all, I have to put out a disclaimer. Avi is also a friend of mine, so Avi is a very good friend of mine as well. But we have made things clear with each other, which I had a very frank conversation sometime back with him. Ki we are friends, lekin it is our job to be true to our site MMAindia.com, because people believe in who we are. And I've always told him, whenever there is some issues, we will come to you to get your side of it.
And I've always told you that
you have always
transparent, and I'm
yes.
more than happy to be vocal about things.
Absolutely.
When you don't have any guilt, or you don't have, not hiding anything within yourself. All right. So it's always good to be vocal about it and be transparent about it. About certain issues and everything that we're going to discuss in today's.
And I've also let him know, because they did ask me once, does somebody else give you money or something? So I've also let him know no amount of advertising amount can change our editorial stances. Though he has not tried to bribe me yet. I'm still waiting for the day.
I won't be able to afford to bribe you.
So anyway.
I won't be able to afford to bribe you.
So now that that's off the table, first of all, Avi, what are you guys up to?
Well, we're up to a lot as every.
Congrats on the Matrix Fight Night.
Thank you. That was really a good benchmark for Indian MMA. Another homegrown promotion being launched and doing wonders for the sport, supported by dear friend, and of course Tiger is like the passion that he has for the sport, and the whole Shroff family for that matter, alright, is really exceptionally great of what they created out of the whole Matrix Fight Night. And I'm actually looking forward to, just recently they announced their forthcoming next MFN2 as well. It's going to be happening in June. I think most probably they're looking at, in my last discussions with them, they're most probably looking at taking it down to Delhi now, since the Mumbai audience has already been introduced.
Actually, they had not announced that, but Avi has let the cat out of the bag and he has announced it for them. So June,
I said this in discussions. They are in discussions and they would like to.
You heard it first on the MMA India show. June में दिल्ली वालों, आपके पास Matrix Fight Night वापस आएगा.
Fully fingers crossed, inshallah, for sure.
So we might get to see Jason versus Shrikant there.
Come on. Straight right at the point. Well, I think it would be a good fight between Jason and Shrikant. Both are good fighters, professionally, competitive, and the audience, I'm sure, would like it. Just to, I think since we've started off on that point as well only, I think whether
इतना fight को hype कर दिया है.
सर हमने हाइप कुछ नहीं किया.
हमने इतना fight.
If the fight happens, it will be a great delight for MMA fans in India to see that fight. I definitely wish, and I would request,
you can thank us later. But
and I would still, as I said, go ahead and request Matrix and Alan and Aisha and everyone. When you are building your fight card, you definitely try and do this fight for sure. And because as I said, both are decently good fighters, and it will be a great feast for the MMA, fans in India.
Yeah. If you look at it, both of them have been doing pretty well. If you look at it, just as a fight, apart from what they've been saying, but just as a fight, Jason has not lost except for his one, famous fight where he lost. He's been doing pretty well. Even fights where people thought he would lose, he's been coming back and winning.
True.
Shrikant has really been picking up steam. He's got really good ground and stand-up skills.
Right.
He's a BJJ national champion.
Correct.
Grappling, so and he got a very good win over somebody like Rajendra Singh Meena, who's local. He's
of course,
fought in SFL, 1FC. He's one of the big names.
Sure.
It was a good victory. So it is, and he's the one who called out Jason, who was there sitting there doing commentary.
Yeah, definitely he did call him out, and I think in your last interview when Jason was part of it, he said that he might not get a chance to fight in SFL or in Matrix because he's calling out without knowing facts and realities of things. So I don't blame him for that, but just a message for you, my buddy Jason, you're going to fight whether it's SFL, Matrix, I am nobody to, hold you back or say that you're not going to be fighting for these promotions. We definitely want you to, alright? Won't let such good talent go to waste. So calling us out with trash talk is not the right approach to it. You have an issue with something, you're a professional fighter. Come to my office, or come give me a call. I think we have shared that relation where you could give me a call and tell me that you have these certain griefs. One thing that I want to today make very clear on this platform, alright, when it comes to the contracted fighters of SFL, okay, till today, when they were contracted for a specific reason. Because at that time, as he only rightfully said, his statement was there was no options, there was no promotions yet in India doing it at the scale that where Super Fight League was created. And I repeat to say, no one forced you onto signing a contract. That was the deal. So you want to fight in SFL, you pledge your contract, you pledge your allegiance and your loyalty to this promotion who's investing in building you, and your fight card up, right? So coming about to Kachu, you being approached by various other promotions like a 1FC or Brave or anyone, alright, nobody's going to hold you back from not fighting for that, okay? If today, why do they have a problem if you are contracted with SFL exclusively, but you are openly, we openly give you this, that we will manage you and you can go ahead and fight. But if the promotions do not accept that, I think in the last article it was misquoted. Buddy, I'm not asking you for any compensation, alright? That's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say is that today if you want to transfer into another promotion, the promotion thinks that your skills are that good and they want you to be part of it. Why don't they go ahead and compensate Super Fight League or Superstars for that matter and release you of your contract?
Like a transfer charge.
Exactly, it happens in all sports, it happens in football, it happens in IPL between teams, there's always transfers happening.
Or between UFC and 1FC, whatever they did.
Precisely.
For Eddie Alvarez and Demetrius.
Exactly my point. So that, if something like that is up in the offering, I'm sure that, Bill and would have more than happy to, because that's was his whole thing. Today the company, Super Fight League, what is their actual, assets? The assets are its fighters. Right? So they would want, that's why the vision was to build something like that. But again, going one more step ahead, on record today, I want to clarify this. I am happy to open out Superstars accounts pages or my personal account pages in any and every way possible, that till today, and I'm saying this very boldly with complete conviction and confidence, Avi Mittal has not taken a single rupee from the fight purses of any fighter who's whether fought in Super Fight League, whether fought in Kumite, whether fought in Brave, whether fighting in 1FC. I personally have not looked into that side of our business. Okay. Yes, Bill looks into it directly. Bill has appointed a lady called Sabha, who you all are aware of. Fighter control is
some of them are complaining about.
Exactly. So if they are complaining about it, if they would have brought to my notice, I would have definitely gone ahead and taken some action. Today, Sabha Qureshi does not, directly report to me. She and Bill directly converse on whether it's fight cards, whether it's fighter contracts, is directly done between them. Alright? If I am asked to intervene in a certain place, I do, and I would go ahead and do my best. Like as you earlier mentioned about Matrix Fight Night. Again, Matrix Fight Night, my involvement only stood as it is an IMA sanctioned event. I am the chairman, honorary chairman of that body. Alright? I don't get paid for it, I don't get commission for it. But at the same time, when I saw a new homegrown promotion trying to build this, I used my veto power in Superstars as a company, went ahead, discussed it with Bill, and I said that look, it's a great platform what the Shroffs are creating over here, and we should show our support for them. And I went ahead, and that's on record, I can also prove it, I went ahead and gave an NOC for all the fighters to fight who are contracted with us without charging them a single rupee. That's when I pulled in my veto power onto it, just to promote the sport. Today, making money out of these fighters is not where my goal is. Alright, all the positions that I hold, like when IMA approached me to come on board as chairman, alright, the whole thing was this, that they saw what I created at Super Fight League, where I used my network, my ecosystem, whether it's bringing in sponsors, team owners, to back this, right? So same way today, IMA is a non-profit organization. My intent of heading it and taking it to the next level is for the fighters to create more awareness of the sport and building more fighters in the Indian, in the Indian sports industry, in MMA particularly. Why? By getting in CSR funding, by trying to, get rope in. Like if you saw in our last IMA conference, some of the biggest top businessmen of our country have come on the IMA board and to support the sport and have pledged their allegiance with, whether it's financially as well as, where we would be doing more fight nights so that we can take this to that grassroots level. But in the end, I don't get paid for all of this. Today, for a fighter's fees, whether $2,000 or $1,000, that 20,000-30,000, sir, does not matter to me, because I can openly say that much I spend in a day. So it was never about the money. It's about definitely the ethics of things, alright? And definitely where trash talk is something which I do not appreciate, alright? So still I am going to let it go. Jason, you've recently become a father. Set a good example for your, for your kids. Don't do this. You're a professional fighter, not an entertainer, right? So build yourself in right. When he used the certain words against IMA or against, SFL, just yesterday he was seen at some event where he is, promoting MMA with kids, all right, wearing the shorts of Super Fight League Delhi Heroes, and one way he trash talks the same promotion. He's standing next to Manan, who is an IMA official from Delhi, all right, and then he trash talks IMA. Daniel and Alan have built and coached this guy, right? He says he got mad love for them. At the same time, he puts down IMA which was created by them. That's not ethically correct. I understand if you have your grievances and your problems, come, let's talk it out. I have no problems in that, alright? But I am not going to do anything as such, or I don't get, provoked by these things that, I should go and say, tell Matrix, no, let's not give Jason a fight, look what he did. Or tell Super Fight League, look how he trash talked us. No, I think we should keep our personal differences aside and handle it professionally, right? So I would not disagree that things have not gone completely the way how it was planned by Bill and me initially for the fighters, with superstars, that we would want to grow them in a certain way. But that is because of the lack of the back. Sanj has put in his own money to whatever extent he can. And today, why is he not launching a new season? Because he does not want to bring down what we have built. Okay, first of all, in India right now, it's election time, plus IPL is going on, all of that, there is a delay in this season. But he's trying to do the bigger and smarter picture of where today you need to get backed rightfully. One FC got a big capital fund backing them. That's why they grew it till that extent. Same thing he's also trying to go ahead and do. So I think that's the only way this sport can be pushed in the right way. Today franchisees defaulting in their payments has also not happened because of them losing interest. But the vision that they have to back, everyone goes through owning a sporting franchise can be looked into two ways. One way, you do it purely as a marketing this for your own brand. Second way is you want to do the business of it. But even something as big as the benchmark set for leagues in our country or the world over, which is IPL, some of my own personal friends own teams, alright, till 10 years they have only invested. Now is when they are turning into profits and seeing some returns coming back. Otherwise 10 years they've only paid in. So what has SFL done? 2 seasons? It's still new. Take Kabaddi for instance. Why are we going all the way up to IPL? Kabaddi took 5 seasons till they got their big title sponsorship and their big broadcasting deal with a broadcaster, investing their skin in the game. Till now these leagues have not got it yet. No promotion has got it yet. Yes, broadcasting right now works in a very simple business model where it's a pay and plug model, right? That's what, until you create and that revenue or you create that kind of a footprint over for the TRPs to go that higher, no broadcaster is going to put in that money. So yes, today we did go ahead and seek, and I would actually, again, that was mentioned that we pay out to celebrities lakhs of rupees and all of that. That's utterly wrong. Till today, I can sit here and say this with complete confidence. Not a single celebrity who has been involved in Super Fight League or Super Boxing League has taken a single rupee payout. They've purely come for the passion of the sport. Yes, we have got them interested and invested in terms of sweat equity to promote the sport and the brand of that particular team in that particular city. But on a very small equity basis, right? So they don't take a payout for this. They still invest their investment into this. Against that equity is today, for example, a Tiger Shroff going anywhere and making an appearance on any show, there is a fee to it. Him waiving that fee off is his investment to own that equity to promote a sport. Same way whether it was the Ajay sir, same way it is Jacqueline. So it was never that anyone was paid anything to come and do this. But yes, when their presence over there does catch the eyeballs of various more viewers and builds the awareness more of the sport. If you see the model that we went on with in the first 2 seasons, every time a match went live, these celebrities, their social media following is in millions. They went live with those matches on their pages as well. That was part of our discourse. Why? We want to create more of an impression of the product as well as the sport, right? So these are things which are business factors that fighters today need to understand. All right, that it's not that you are getting underpaid or we are underpaying you or we're defaulting in payments towards you guys. It's when we get defaulted, it's like a whole it's a whole circle, it's a whole vicious circle which gets connected each one to it. If we are committed, when people commit us money, we commit money ahead. Then further that you get your payment. When the first point of it only is defaulted, how does one survive it? So then that's where when time is bought, and as promoters of the league, Bill has gone ahead and tried to reach out and pay out maximum whatever he can. That's what I would say in his defense of things. But also one thing that I want to make very clear, whether it was about any payments or defaults of Super Fight League to anyone, I do not control the accounts and finance of Super Fight League. I don't have a say. No bank accounts today have my signatures where I can withdraw money or issue payments for any of these defaults that have happened. It's purely controlled by Bill, and he's trying and doing his best from his own pocket as much as he can to cover all the defaults which was committed to him. But people defaulted in paying him and into SFL, so hence the further delay happened ahead. But he's still gone ahead and cleared out most of it. And further, it also is just small money which he will definitely do. He's not going to, hit out on that for any reason. So these are things that people should be very well aware of. Now coming back down to the whole talent part and superstars and the whole contractual bit, yes, those contracts are in place. There was a vision that was created for those contracts to come into place. But today people are unhappy with it, which I have also personally gone ahead and discussed it with Bill, and I've said that it is not managed to that extent the way how it should have. Alright, because he does not have that backing to create that team yet, because he's not got that funding yet. Otherwise, he would want to hire bigger professionals who would, manage these fighters, get them more opportunities. Alright, if anyone comes to me and says that, Avi sir, here I have been offered this by XYZ, promotion. How do we work this out? Nobody has ever approached me. If they would, I would go up to Bill and say, Bill, let's see what we can do for this guy. Or why do we have to hold him back and hold up his career just because we initially invested in him, but that does not mean that we hold him back for just that. If we can somehow work out with the promotion in exchange or somehow let it go, I would be more than happy to, so that at least these guys should grow, because tomorrow they will take our country as well as our name on the global footprint of MMA, and that should be done. I don't deny it. I definitely think it should be done, but it has to happen in a right, proper way, not going on public forums and trash talking things out. As Dan sir rightfully said, you never ever bite the hand that feeds you. So I think in all these clarifications, my point is only very simple. In my personal capacity, with all my honorary posts, anything that I can do to promote any fighter, I will go ahead and do it in whatever capacity I can. That is why I'm trying today. When Ima approached me from a promotional point of view, I looked side of it and I said no, I would go into the whole grassroots level of it and use this association's honorary post to get in that kind of revenue, so that we can create more opportunities for these fighters as well as for like amateur fighters and professional fighters. So very soon we're on the verge of this, like because of elections things have been not taking off the way it had to just, but I'm just waiting, and very soon I'll be announcing a whole series of state-wise fight nights which will be competitions as well as fight nights, so amateur competitions and fight nights in every state possible. And luckily, touch wood, good friends of mine who come from big backgrounds and are happy to support this cause of mine and are backing me on it. So I'm looking forward to doing that and announcing that calendar very soon.
अभी मैं कुछ पूछूं?
पूछो.
Welcome to the Avi Mittal show.
Exactly.
ये था अभी मित्तल का मोनोलॉग और हमने सुना और आप लोगों ने भी सुना. Where will you get a polite man like me who has not said one word in between?
I completely respect you for giving me that thing to put it all out, because I had it was bothering me for all these days.
उसने कहा कि आप
निकाल दो सब कुछ बाहर. It's not venting it out. It's more.
I'm in a positive.
I have shared good rapport with these fighters during seasons. I've actually hung out with them, watched out for them, and then when something which is miscommunicated to them, it's always good to clarify it.
So, just one question.
Sure.
See, I agree with you on the fact. See, these fighters are contracted to IPL. IPL बोल रहा मैच क्रिकेट चल रहा है ना तो वही चल रहा है दिमाग में SFL. So they are under contract to SFL. I think one of the points that Jason raised was that SFL and Superstar have the same ownership basically.
Ownership.
So don't you think?
Same ownership in what way? Super Fight League is pure 100%. Like the Indian subsidiary is owned by Bill Dosanjh, alright?
FCC, it's correct. It's controlled by the same people. So usually, like we were saying about other sports and everything,
right.
The people managing you are never the people you're contracted to in terms of a promotion. So in case there is, let's say, an offer from another thing, the people in between are not the same as the people you're contracted to. Whereas here, the case is that it is the same.
Oh, but Chief, the point over here is that if today you're contracted into SFL or into Superstars, you're not stopped from fighting into any other promotion. There's a fee that this company is charging you. Because today, why are those promotions approaching you?
What I mean is, say it's like if UFC is giving Eddie Alvarez to ONE FC,
correct,
right? The person in between who is speaking on behalf of Eddie Alvarez, has Eddie's best interests at heart.
True.
And not the UFC's or ONE FC's.
Correct.
But here, the person representing whoever would first also have, see, it's really great that, you've said you don't want to stop any fighters and everything, which is great, and one really feels that's the way, it should be. But technically speaking, you are part of, whoever is representing is part of SFL as well. So they have to keep that in
Sabha
mind.
is not today an employee of Super Fight League. She's not an employee of Super Fight League. She has purely been from day one. Any kind of communication also that happened to her, she is talent. She's handling the talent of Superstars. So Sabha is not as a direct involvement into Super Fight League on paper in any way.
But don't you think? See, like you said, that's paper.
If you get to the technical part of it, that is the reality of things. My point is only this much, that when there was nothing in MMA in India apart from the small shows that were happening here, the platform that was created was the first mover's advantage because we believed in this.
Yeah.
Okay. Today, even whether you talk about ONE FC, Brave or anything, their top level fighters in 2 years don't get 8 fights. We've given that platform to these guys, alright, and created that. So it's also about how you also professionally approach it as well, right?
No, I agree with you. And let's say, people have, and you've also said if people are getting opportunities,
Right.
you don't want to stop them.
I don't want to stop them.
You don't want to stop them because if somebody, let's say whoever, because it's not just about one or two specific people.
Correct.
Right? It's about, we're talking about the larger Indian MMA picture.
Completely.
And how we're going to together grow the sport. The
Definitely.
promotions, the sanctions, the brilliant media and entertainment websites like MMA India Show and the fighters, of course. Everybody is very important in the ecosystem. To support each other and to grow and to talk. And like one thing you're saying is nobody spoke to you about it.
One thing, nobody has ever approached me directly, alright, or spoken to me when even the MFN topic came up, alright, for every of these fighters who fought in MFN who were contacted us, sent me an email personally saying that, sir, I want to fight into MFN, please grant me an NOC. I went ahead and did that. And when I made that conscious decision, I went ahead and I told Bill, till today, I've never got interfered in the fighter business of this company. But in the light of things right now, I want to promote this. Alright? It's another homegrown promotion that is building. We should support it so that it grows bigger. And the value that it adds to us, that's the biggest point of it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let me do it. And I went ahead and I did it.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Okay guys, we're back. Sorry, it got cut, net issues. So what I was saying is, let's say, the way forward.
Right.
Whatever issues are there or not there, we, like you also, I think very generously said, is that it's not, you guys have not been able to do it maybe the way you had envisioned, because it's a growing stage. You know, it's a growing stage. Everybody's growing. You know, like you said, you know, sometimes you have to invest some time and effort before you can, you know. So it's getting an opportunity somewhere else. You know, how can we do it so that the fighter is able to get that opportunity and make.
But that is being done even now also. Okay. Where, as you saw, that some of the fighters fought for Brave, fought for Brave, fought for Matrix. So even if today they are getting a good opportunity, alright, I would just go ahead and request them that, you know, till today, okay, maybe because of the business and revenue side where I was trying to always bring in the money to make these, you know, make this league happen and try to, you know, generate that revenue, I never looked into the technical side of it from the fighter's point of view. But today if somebody, as I said, approaches me and says that, you know, Avi, yes, we are contracted with Superstars and SFL, this is what, on paper, this is an offer that we've got, don't you think that this would take us to the next level? I don't think so. Even a Bill Dosanjh would say no, as much as the time that I have spent with him, and you know, that he would say no to stop someone's growth. That few, whatever thousands of rupees or lakh, even if it goes to a lakh, also is not going to, you know, stop us from, or, you know, going to bring that out where we would want to stop anyone's growth in any way. Right? But as I said, they are assets of the company. So today if a promotion as such, like really wants a Jason, really wants a Kansa Jagasar, come across, sit on the table. I'm sure that your Bill would definitely look into it and, you know, try to find the most amicable way
but don't
for
you
the
think
support.
The issue, one of the issues is, like you said, they're contracted to SFL and
their contracts come into Superstars. Yeah, and they fight in SFL.
In SFL.
Yeah.
Because Superstars is the manager.
It's the management company. As I said, that I have not looked into the fighter business of this company. It is Sabha who's been mainly talking to these fighters and all, and I've come across that some grievances that these fighters have had towards their behavior or towards the way it has been managed, and I have already, you know, told Bill that, you know, Bill, this is not ethically correct again, that, you know, it's not as per our want and need that we are good, and as per our want and need, it has to be.
I'll be very careful. What's the word? Anyway, I'll just say this: I've only dealt with her once, and I didn't enjoy dealing with her either. So that's all I can say. I don't know about the fighters.
See, what your view about her is has been a view of a lot of people, but probably that's where I always say.
But like I said, it's not a personal thing. I mean, I don't have any.
But if this company,
we deal with people all the time. See, but if fighters are saying something about one person,
but that's upside down. I don't have great experiences dealing with her
exactly,
either.
That's what I'm saying.
Being in the same company, but that does not mean
it's. I don't think such a, because I didn't go around saying, you know, I guess there are ways of dealing with things. But what I'm guessing is what fighters are looking for is at least some kind of respect, because they're fighting, and at least they're expecting from the people who are maybe representing them or working for them is at least some respect for the work and that they're doing.
And I completely agree with you on that fact. And as I said, any fighters today,
वो जो कहते हैं ना कि यार प्यार से तो आप जान ही ले.
Exactly, मैं तो अभी भी वो बोल रहा हूँ कि आज तक किसी फाइटर ने मुझे डायरेक्टली अप्रोच नहीं किया है. जिसने भी किया है, मैंने उसको जो सपोर्ट मांगा है, मैंने अपने पावर में जो है वो मैंने किया है. Alright, and further ahead, अगर मैं अपने पावर में होके कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ उनके लिए, I will still do it. It does, this small money does not make me a difference. That's why I said that I can today confidently say कि मैंने किसी भी फाइटर के अगर उनका पैसा सुपरस्टार्स के अंदर आया है, the money has come in, I have not taken a single rupee out of it, and I can very boldly say that. Okay.
So what I would recommend to all the fighters is that I think they should all contact Avi directly and find the best way to work something out. Where see the way I see it is the fighters still need to be contracted to Super Fight League. The next season that comes, they should be available. I mean, that's the present situation. You know, they should still be available for Super Fight League. If there is a way where you are able to make them also bigger, which would benefit Super Fight League itself also. Because the next time when they're fighting for Super Fight League, let's say they have a bigger name also. You know, and anybody, as you know, who maybe fights abroad and comes back, for the Indian audience it becomes a bigger thing. Kyun bahar jaake jeeta hai?
I completely agree with you on that fact as well. But in the end, it's not my call.
Yeah.
I don't have that power. It's not my company. All right.
But you have
I have that relation with Bill, and he's always been open to support these things. It's just that how you approach it in the right way. As I said, coming on a public forum and trash talking is not the right approach. If you have an issue, I would have still requested you would have picked up the phone and told me that Avi, these are the things that are happening. I've got these amazing offers, and I would have, at least in my capacity, what I could do, I would definitely go ahead and try and help him out in every way. That's something which I'm still saying I will do. I'm not saying that if I did. I'm still saying that.
So I think what they're saying is is that they did contact whoever, somebody, if it was Sabah or whoever it was, and that they were told they can, but they'll just have to do it through the company. Or did they contact somebody, or no, they didn't contact anybody?
I think, as I said, that nobody's contacted me.
Okay.
The only contact that any fighters had a direct contact with me was when the fighters wanted to fight for Matrix Fight Nights, and I made sure that I would see through that they do that, and they've not paid anything to superstars for fighting in Matrix. Same way, and for other promotions and stuff like that, if it's a bigger picture where they want to exclusively go and only become a 1FC fighter or something like that, if that is if they're being approached in that way, I think they should come on the table and say that and I have always kept my communication channels open to everyone. I always hear everyone out.
The way I see it also, there are two things here. One is, like you rightly said, it's a promotion which needs investment right now. It's not an easy business to be in India. You are putting in money, you're trying to get sponsors, you're trying to get the sport, and money is not that easily
available for the sport
and rolling in. On the other side, for the fighters, I'm guessing, from the fighters' viewpoint, it's that they're not making money unless they're fighting.
Correct.
So it kind of becomes a thing where, you also need to have the fighters ready whenever you have the next season. But the fighters also are in a place where if they're getting a fight, and if whatever reason, like you're saying, there are various reasons, they think there are various reasons they can't fight, then they're not making money either ways.
But what I fail to understand is, alright, which I would like to discuss with any of the fighters if they, try to have a one-on-one with me, is when today they're getting approached by other promotions, they just need to simply say, okay, yes, this company does manage me. Send me the contract, the fight contract that you have offered, alright? Can have a look at it. No one's going to put a hard and fast rule that, okay, which has now come to my notice through this whole episode, that apparently that there is only a fixed fee that we asked for and all of this. So I discussed it with Bill. I'm like, till today I have not been told about any of this. It has always been, because as I rightfully said, Sabha does not report to me. She speaks directly to Bill, and she speaks to the fighter. Alright? But these problems are happening, and they're happening under my name. Now it's come onto me, and I will protect that fighter and my name in every way, and we keep it very transparent. Okay? And if in the right process, as I said, a promotion wants today to take a fighter away from SFL and keep them exclusively for themselves, I'm sure an exchange can be happened, which was more than happy. That will set an example. I think Bill will first of all go ahead and do that, because even the new breed of fighters that are coming into Super Fight League, right now Contenders is going on for season 3, has already been going on in 1 or 2 cities, right? But even those fighters will set a benchmark. So I think it's definitely a point that one should bring up to us and raise. And when about an individual who's handling this whole talent side of a company, alright, where people have not had a great experience with it, they should have definitely put up a complaint or an email, whether to Bill or whether to me, and we would have definitely looked into it. But because of that revenue not being generated, because of these fighters also, just by holding them is nothing too great. If that much revenue was generated, Bill would hire 2-3 proper professionals to manage these fighters, right? Which he has not done, I agree, but because how much can one bleed? Here he is defaulting in payments where he needs to clear out his vendors. How much his overheads, you cannot take them higher, that's why your company will collapse. So just to stay afloat and try to continue to build this, things have to be handled in the right professional manner. I completely am with the fighters on this point, that yes, they should have a better platform to approach us and try to see what best options they can for themselves. All right.
I think I don't know. I can't. I can only guess from the outside that if the communication was a little more, better, where from what I'm feeling is either they're not able to approach, or they're not able to approach properly. If those lines of communication were a little more easier.
I honestly
sort this all out.
I completely agree with you on that. I think somewhere it is also my fault where, like, as per my contract, suppose with SFL and Superstars, alright? My contract today, whatever that revenue would come in, I would take a share of it as well. But I have not done that when it comes to the fighters. Okay, I think I should have initially only tried and been more involved with the fighters and spoken to them and understood their grievances and try to resolve it. Alright, but as we said, the bigger battle which we were fighting to provide the platform for these fighters, which is the Super Fight League, that kept me more busy and more hands-on with generating the right franchise team owners, bringing in the right sponsors, which is really tough and even more difficult in today's market. Maybe 2 years ago things were still different, but right now it's even more tough, trust me, to build the sport higher. But we're still trying, nobody's giving up, okay? And that's where when people like the Shroffs and all come up with a promotion, one can only support and grow it, right? And if things continue in this way of the operations, there is a certain extent that I would maybe pull out of these companies, alright? Because I cannot handle any kind of injustice. That's not my upbringing, that's not the way how I do business. I've been a very principled sports entrepreneur, alright? That's the reason that I sit on various sport league boards, at the same time do have all these honorary posts in so many organizations, is only because whenever anyone has approached me to seek help or try if I can add value in any sort of way, I would not think twice, I would go ahead and do it. So yes, I would still say let's try and open more communications, and if certain contracts and this are available to fighters, they should bring it completely to our notice. But let me also say this, that when it comes to the finance of this company or when it comes to handling this contract, it's not my call alone, alright? Because I am not the majority shareholder in this company. I don't have I don't have a say in these matters. It's in the end that Bill Dosanjh only who can take.
But I don't think they're blaming you personally. I think they're talking generally about the grievances. It's not like Avi Mittal ne aisa kiya. It's not like that, right?
The comments and all of that I've read is like literally, so that's why they should know what the truth of it is. But I will still say that my phone number is available to everyone. Everyone even knows it. Alright?
अब इस पोस्ट पे पोस्ट भी कर देंगे.
पोस्ट भी कर दो. अगर मैं किसी भी तरीके से अपने छोटे से भी रास्ते में, if I can support and help these guys, I would do it. Okay, maybe because of Bill traveling so much internationally, trying to do his whole fundraise, trying to take this brand more global, is not that accessible. But he has been accessible to me, and I've always said that he is one person when it comes to the growth of anyone, whether it's my own growth or whether it's the growth of any fighter or anyone who's associated with him. He's always supported and tried to push it only forward. So this few things that people think that was going to make a difference to him, this few amounts, it's not that. It's just the principle about setting your business correct. Alright? So he's still hoping and trying to do that. But
so what's happening about season 3 now? What's the news on season 3?
Well, as per my last conversation with Bill on season 3, yes, we have, with the whole IPL elections and everything, broadcasters are not being that open about, how we could take this forward. Then at the same time, franchisees and sponsors, we've been in conversations, but as you rightfully know, today's market scenario in the financial markets is not that great, where, big companies who had spends in hundreds of crores in marketing budgets have actually brought it down to bare minimums. The whole Indian market is right now going through a transitional change in our economic development. So it's going to be a very tough fight, but hopefully either we strike gold where we get in that international funding where Bill manages to secure that for Super Fight League and he goes ahead and rolls out a season, or Bill decides that tomorrow from his own pocket he wants to put that money out and grow a season. These are a few options that he's still weighing, but I'm sure very soon he'll make a very big announcement because he's already announced contenders. Because to that great extent, I have limited my own involvement into Super Fight League at this moment because I have my other businesses as well, and I have to look at my own career growth. Where right now the situation that the companies, they can't even officially afford my financial burden on them as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I have to also look at my options. But that's when I said that I saw this coming a while ago. I had decided that this whole sport of MMA has grown a great passion within me and has a very soft, special spot in me. That's when I decided to take up the post of IMA. that I continue working with these guys at the grassroots level, right? So that's where, as of right now, it stands.
आज के लिए बहुत हो गया
बहुत
आज लेकिन काफी अच्छा I think see I think everybody has something to learn from the conversation today, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of comments and other stuff.
I'm sure, and as I said, I will still request all the promotions that are there, please give any and every fighter who's still contracted over here, don't worry, we will work something out, but don't hold back an opportunity that you could provide to these fighters, because these guys have really worked hard to reach where they are with their performances. So definitely not hold back on it in any way, and if in any way I can assist that in this, please, I am openly approachable. Please get in touch with me, and I will try and see whatever best I can do and try and convince the decision maker in this whole scenario to try and help any individual out in whatever way I can.
Great. So we're gonna keep. Of course, we always love having you over.
And I always love having my coffee and chat with you.
We hope the next time is not due to some whatever you want to call it.
There's nothing. I have nothing against Jason. I'm sure he has nothing against me. And after today, when he's come to know that it's not my decisions, it's not where my place is. I don't have a right over these things. I don't have a control over these things. Alright, in the company.
But you can help sort them out.
I can help by putting in my best foot forward for them.
Yeah.
But I have just my points that I wanted to make very clear. I have never financially benefited from any fighter in a direct way. Alright, it's not my decision where I can let go of them of this contract. If I could, alright, for anyone's growth, honestly, Praveen, I would go ahead and sign it blindly and say, please go ahead. But it's not my business. It is Bill Dosanjh's business. Okay, it's his call. But I'm sure that he's a person who's always accommodating things in the right way, and he would definitely help these guys out if they want to opt out as well.
Well, the MMA India show will continue to bring both sides and help bring them together for the benefit of the Indian MMA scene. This was Parvin Dabas, your host on the MMA India show, and thank you, Avi Mittal, again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you,
chairman of the All India Mixed Martial Arts Association. And thank you, and that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in. Cheers, till next time.